Did you know that regular physical activity can help those who live with osteoarthritis feel better, lose extra pounds, reduce joint pain, combat fatigue, and boost their overall health? The good news is that you don't need to run a marathon or be a bodybuilder to reduce arthritis symptoms through exercise. Even moderate exercise can help ease your pain and make you feel more energized. So when your osteoarthritis threatens to immobilize you, exercise can keep you moving. Make sure you're all warmed up in your joints and good to go before trying these exercises and stretches. Today we'll focus on movements for the hip and knee. If you want to learn more about exercises and stretches for shoulders and hands, we have another video in this series designed especially for you. So watch for that video. Well, let's get started. Our first movement is a mini squat. Make sure that you have a chair or a countertop close by for balance and stability. And these mini squats are very much what they sound like. So we're gonna sink our hips back, knees stay over the feet, and then we'll squeeze all the muscles between our knees and our waist. So these mini squats are really up to your tolerance level. They don't need to be really big. It's more about the action of the muscles on the way back up than it is about the depth of how far you can go. You can start off with 4 or 5, move up and increase to 10, or even 20 is a good number. As you sink the hips, your weight goes back a little towards the heels, and that's great. And it's okay to feel or hear a little crunching in your joints or a popping, as long as you don't feel any sharp pains. Let's do one more. Good. Our next movement is heel lifts and toe lifts. So imagine that you don't bend at the hip for the purpose of this exercise. And we're gonna roll up onto the toes, keep the hips straight. And this is the hard part. As you lift the toes, try and keep your hips straight too. So we're working on some of the muscles in the lower leg that are really important for walking gait and for function of the knee. So up on toes, and then try and really lift those toes. This is the hard part. If you don't want to use a chair for balance, of course you don't have to, but it's there for you. Starting out with 10 of these is a really good number. You can do this when you're going into the kitchen to get a drink of water. So kind of pepper this out throughout the day to get really strong in the lower leg. All right. Our next movement is a chair squat. So as you come to the seat of your chair, have a seat, and then scoot forward in the chair so that you're not supported by the back of the chair. Feet are about hip distance apart, shoulders are back and down, and think about bringing your head back so that your ears stay right over your shoulders and your shoulders are right over your hips. All right, push into the 4 corners of your feet. Get really strong in your legs. Do you feel your thighs engage? And then sit back. So there's a little lean forward, but keep your chest pointing ahead instead of down at the floor. You feel your legs engage? Try that again. As you lean forward, this time you can either do that more isometric, push into the floor, get light in your chair, or you can come up out of the chair and squeeze the muscles between the knees and the waist, and then sit back. Make sure you know where your chair is. You can start with as few as 5, but work your way up to between 10 and 20. Let's do a few more. Really be mindful of how this feels all the way up and all the way down. Let's do one more. Make sure the chair's right there where you left it, and then have a seat in your chair. Find perfect posture. So again, instead of leaning back, try and keep your head right over your shoulders and your shoulders back and down. For hip flexion, it's important to stay forward and not lean back. So for hip flexion, we're just gonna lift the right knee and lower, and then try that on the left. Lift and lower. You can support on the chair, lift and lower if that feels good to you. Keep breathing. Or you can just not support, and get more core engagement. Do you feel the muscles of your thighs? And do you feel your core, your abdominals as you lift side to side? Let's do one more on each side. Anywhere from 5 on each side to 10 on each side are good numbers and a good place to be. Good. Now realign, and then as you shift side to side, find the center of your sitting bones on your chair. Roll the shoulders back and down. And for this long arc quads, all we're gonna do is lift the right knee and then extend like you're trying to show someone the bottom of your shoe, and then come back down. Let's work on the right first. Starting out with maybe 5 on each side, straightening as much as possible without locking the knee and without leaning back. And this is harder than it looks. So as you lengthen, reach energy through your heel and pull the toe back. You shouldn't feel any sharp pains while you're doing this. If you do, limit your range of motion or take a little break. That's it. Let's readjust, recenter, and we'll do a few on the other side. You can exhale when you're exerting and inhale when you come back to center, and adjust each time. Sometimes it's really easy to shift without knowing it. Exercise is so important for people with arthritis, so don't let inexperience, inertia, or even arthritis keep you from working out. In fact, according to the Arthritis Foundation, there's never an age, skill level, or stage of arthritis so bad that you can't get moving. It's entirely possible to become an avid exerciser, and it's well worth the effort.